Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. 4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm sports editor of the Richmond Register. Very much appreciate you tuning us in this week. And we got a lot of stuff to get through this week, folks. A lot of stuff happened, including just today and yesterday. So it's been a very busy weekend around Madison County. So we like to start off the show with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports. But before we do that, let's look ahead, because some very big stuff coming up this week, most notably the 11th Region basketball tournaments. They get started tomorrow night, Monday. Girls' first round games, Madison Southern is at Lexington Catholic, 7 p.m. And we have Tate's Creek at Madison Central, 7 p.m. The semifinals are on Wednesday at EKU. The finals are on Saturday at EKU. On the boys' side of the 11th Region basketball tournament, things get started on Tuesday. Madison Southern at Lexington Catholic. And Western Hills at Madison Central, both those games at 7 o'clock. The semifinals are set for Saturday at EKU, and the finals are set for the Monday after next, March 6th at EKU. So the girls' Sweet 16 goes first this year, so we need to, obviously, 11th Region girls have to wrap up before the boys, so the boys' championship won't be until next Monday night. And, of course, that leads us to how we got to that point, because the 44th District Tournament was this past week over at Alumni Coliseum, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday night. And what a great scene it was for 3 days over there. Huge crowds all 3 nights, especially on Friday night. We have some behind-the-scenes footage and stuff we're going to show you. Maybe not on this show, but going forward, and we exclusive access into both the central locker rooms before the championship games. So we got a little bit of the pregame speeches and all that good stuff. So look for that coming up here in a few days. But it was a great championship round. Now, that being said, the 4 semifinal games were not quite as interesting as the 2 championship games were. But let's go through it game by game. We'll start with the girls, and of course, Madison Southern was looking to three-peat for the first time in school history. The Lady Eagles had never won 3 consecutive district championships, but their drive for the 3rd straight championship started on Tuesday with a 57-13 win over Berea Community, in which they limited the Lady Pirates to just 3 field goals in that game. Hadley French 21 points, and Megan Corral with 10 points as well. Sophie Brewer 6 points for Berea. Then on Monday night, Madison Central booked their spot into the championship game with a 74-24 win over Model. Natea Strader 15 points, Bailey Hensley with 13 points, and Maya Bandari, Riley Hunt, and Paige Mattingly had 5 points each for Model. So that set up the Central Southern girls final. And on the boys' side, on Monday night was Madison Central rolling to a 75-28 win over Model. Robbie Todd with 18 points and Cale Vickers with 10 points for Model. And on Tuesday night, the only real competitive game of the 4 semifinals, Madison Southern 73, Berea Community 58. A very young Pirates team, a bunch of freshmen and sophomores out there on the court, but they played their guts out. It was a 4-point game in the second half, but Madison Southern hit a bunch of free throws late to ice the victory. And it was Zach Hudson, 22 points, and Jay Rose with 16 points. For Berea, it was Cam Puckett, 17 points, and Tommy Banderman with 15 points. And, of course, those results set up the Central Southern showdowns on Friday night in front of huge crowds at Alumni Coliseum. We'll start off with the girls' game, and this, in a lot of ways, certainly wasn't a thing of beauty, that's for sure. A low-scoring, very defensive, physical affair, but it was Madison Central reclaiming the district title for the first time since 2020 with a 31-28 victory. Brittany Campbell hit a pair of big free throws late when Southern had got within 1 point, but it was Olivia Metcalf with 8 points. She hit a pair of three-pointers in the first half. Brittany Campbell, 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals. Atea Strader, 6 points and 5 rebounds. Eden Carter and Bailey Hensley with 4 points each, and Hensley also had 12 rebounds as well. But both teams struggled to shoot the ball. 32.4% for Madison Central, 3 of 13 from three-point range, 4 of 13 from the free throw line, which means when Brittany Campbell stepped to the free throw line at the end there, Central was 2 of 11 at the free throw line up until that point, and she hit both of those late to seal the victory. Madison Southern, 26.3% from the field, 2 of 10 from three-point range, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Central never trailed, but it certainly wasn't easy. Tara Wooten with 10 points for Southern. Jada Carter, 6 points and 7 rebounds. Hadley French, 6 points and 2 rebounds. And it was also Moberly Corral and Lacey Sandlin with 2 points each. And afterwards, we got a chance to talk to Coach Scott True, Olivia Metcalf, and Brittany Campbell.
At Alumni Coliseum with the 2023-44 district champions, the Madison Central Lady Indians. Olivia Metcalf, Coach Scott True, and Brittany Campbell. Congratulations, that was 31-28. It was not a thing of beauty, but you guys get that title back for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, it was tough tonight. We really struggled offensively. Southern did a good job defensively. I thought we were tremendous on the defensive end. We hit some shots early, and then we didn't score for like 5 minutes, and really kind of got in a little bit of a funk. But we did enough at the end to pull it out. I told them all year long, if you defended a rebound, you have a chance, and we certainly had to do that tonight.
Yeah. Brittany, they got it back to 1 on that three-pointer, and you got fouled, and you guys were 2 of 9 at the free throw line until you stepped up there and hit 2 free throws. So kind of what was going through your head there?
That I needed to hit him so that we could relieve a little bit of pressure on us and give us a little bit of higher lead.
Yeah, because I got a little tense there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like Coach said, Olivia, not a great night offensively, but you were 2 for 2 from three-point range, 2 huge three-pointers, stepped up in there, and so just like a little bit of how your contributions tonight.
I've just been staying after practice and shooting more, and it's finally been paying off. I just had more confidence.
Yeah, and Coach, you built this thing on defense from the day one. It's been about defense, and especially in the first half, you guys were just once again incredible pressure on the ball.
Yeah, and I feel like it wore on them in the second half, and maybe cost them a few jump shots. I think they hit maybe 1 3 there in the fourth quarter. They got open. Really wanted, these 2 girls did a super job. Bailey Hensley tonight, but Eden Carter and Brooke Campbell tonight, defensively on Hadley French, were just tremendous. They chased her 94 feet tonight from end to end. Did a super job for us and really helped us in the end.
And Olivia and Brittany, I mean, they've won the last 2. What does it mean for you to get both of you to get those titles back? That title back.
It was good to get our thing back at the TP.
Back in the TP.
Back home.
Back home.
Yeah, and a home game next week too. So.
Yeah, that's big for us to get that home game. And we talked about trying to get one more home game, and we were able to do that tonight. And hats off to Southern for a great effort. And I know they're going to be a very tough opponent for somebody in the first round.
All right, congratulations. See you next week.
All right, well, congratulations to the Lady Indians, and of course, both teams move on to the 11th region tournament this coming week. Boys game was a lot of fun too. A little bit more high scoring. Neither one of these teams shot very well either in this game, but that frequently happens on that big floor over at Eastern Kentucky University. It's obviously high school kids not used to playing on the bigger playing surface, but it was Madison Central reclaiming the district championship from Madison Southern with a 57-47 win. Jalen Davis, 27 points, 13 rebounds. He was 11 of 15 from the free throw line. Jaden West, 13.6 rebounds. Robbie Todd, 12 points and 12 rebounds. Parker Mullins, 3 points. Eli Steele, 2 points, as Central regains that district championship after losing to Southern last year in the title game. But Braden Hudson, 23 points, 8 rebounds. Madison Southern's leading scorer, Jay Rose, had hurt his ankle in the win over Berea, but he very gamely went out there and played on it. It certainly looked like it slowed him a little bit, but he played his guts out and still had 14 points and 14 rebounds. Zach Hudson, 5 points and 6 rebounds. Avery Davidson, 3 points. Kaysen Nobby, 2 points and 4 rebounds. Kaysen Nobby and Brett Ursuline both fouled out for Madison Southern. Both the Hudson brothers were also in foul trouble as well. And one of the big differences here was the rebounding. 47-37 advantage for the Indians on the glass. 18 offensive rebounds led to 19 second chance points. And that was big in a game where neither team shot the ball very well. For Madison Central, 32.7%. And they were also just 17 of 27 from the free throw line. Southern was 28.6% from the field, 15 of 23 from the free throw line. And both teams were well, not good from three-point range. Both teams were 4 of 22 from three-point range. Even I can do the math. That's 8 of 44, so that's not very good. But either way, Central reclaims the district championship. And afterwards, we got a chance to talk to the 3 seniors, Jaden West, Jalen Davis, Robbie Todd, and of course, our good friend John Mark Stivers joined us as well.
Here at Alumni Coliseum, where Madison Central's Indians have reclaimed the 44th District Championship with a victory over Madison Southern. Here's your seniors, Jaden West, John Mark Stivers, Jalen Davis, and Robbie Todd. Guys, low scoring, physical, I guess exactly what you expected when these two teams meet in the finals.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think our defense carried us in that game. Obviously, they were held to like 40-something points. So, our defense carried us the whole way. Our offense, we didn't shoot the best, but the defense, Coach Hallhouse always preaches, that will carry us the whole way.
Yeah, that was the main focus on this game. Coming to the game was just locking down and staying together and fight for each other.
Yeah, Coach said in the locker room, you guys shot horribly, but they shot even worse. So I guess that's.
I think we shot 31%, they shot 25%. So I think our defense carried us to the win.
Yeah, you did get loose for one dunk at the end there.
Yeah, I got one of them. Yeah, felt pretty good.
Yeah, you got those guys in foul trouble, and obviously that's a big factor. I think the first half they had 3 guys with 2 fouls, and you guys seem to play every minute of every game and not get into foul trouble.
Yeah.
But that obviously was a big advantage for you guys.
Yeah, I think we're definitely battle tested this year. We've played 32 minutes every game, so we're used to it. We're ready. We're ready for the regional tournament next week. So we're all excited.
Yeah, I feel like my biggest thing is to stay out of foul trouble because we have to still be able to trust some of the guys come off the bench. I think it's going to take some more time, but that's just sticking 32 minutes is working right now. So.
Especially, it seemed like first quarter and the second quarter it was the Jalen Davis show. You just kind of took over there, man.
Yeah, I mean, if they was giving me the jump shot, I was just going to take it. I'm glad my teammates was looking for me and screaming for me.
All right. John Mark, you're the man.
With all the adversity that went on during the game, as seniors, how does it feel to end your district championship career winning it?
Me personally, I'm just glad we didn't lose twice in a row. So I'm glad we can refresh that, history and stuff. So I'm happy with that.
Okay. Robbie, you came back for one extra year.
Yeah, this was our first 44th district championship, so it feels awesome.
All right. Well, congratulations, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, congratulations to the Indians, and of course the Indians and Eagles both moving on to the 11th region tournament this week. So, moving on to college basketball and more tournament action. The Collegiate Conference of the South's women's basketball tournament was held, not I was going to say in its entirety, but not entirely in its entirety. The Berea College women, by winning the regular season championship, got to play host to the tournament. So on Wednesday night, they picked up a 65-52 win at home over Agnes Scott. Then on Saturday, a 55-38 win over Maryville in the CCS semifinals. And then on Sunday afternoon, a showdown with their old, longtime rival, Piedmont University, for the championship, and it was the Mountaineers pulling out a 71-63 victory. It's the 4th time in the last 6 seasons that these two teams have met in the conference tournament final game. The first 3 of those were when both the teams were in the USA South Conference. But this was another battle, folks, and Piedmont had won the first 2 times they played in conference tournaments, and now Berea College has won the last 2. But Berea College was down, made an 8-0 run late in the 4th quarter, highlighted by a big 3 from Jaden Merriweather, which put them back in front. And it was Aaliyah Hampton, the senior, with 24 points, Drea Satori with 14 points, and senior Destiny Combs with 11 points as well. And after the game, we got a chance to talk to Coach Trent Milby and all the seniors. We got Destiny Combs, Aaliyah Hampton, and then also Jaden Merriweather.
All right, we're here at the Seabury Center where the Berea College Mountaineers are the Collegiate Conference of the South Tournament champions, beating Piedmont College. And joining us, Destiny Combs, Jaden Merriweather, Aaliyah Hampton, and Coach Trent Milby. And Trent, Coach, well, just another classic Berea College Piedmont tilt. You guys have met in 4 championship games before, and 2-2, and every one of them is just like this.
It was, and we was missing shots, missing free throws, just trying to hang in there. And then I've been on Jaden all year just to shoot it. And she made the shot, heard around the world what I thought.
Yeah, Jaden, that big 3 there, you guys you get down by 4 or 5 at that point, I think, and you came back. So what was going through your mind on that play?
Well, I think that's my job. That's my role on the team. I knew we was down by a few, so we really needed that. And I hadn't actually hit one the whole game, so it was a big one for me and my team.
Yeah, Destiny and Leah, you're the 2 seniors here. maybe last time ever on this court, and especially you there, Aaliyah, it seemed like you kind of took over and said, "No, we're going to get this done."
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like my role to do that. So like I knew like the team was just like, man, yeah, we got to keep going, So I try to keep everybody going. So once everybody got going, we was all right.
Yeah, and Destiny, like I said, you guys have played them so many times, so many close games over the years. They've won a few, you've won a few, but what was the difference today?
We just kept fighting, it was like going back and forth, but we just hit the gas and just finished the game.
Yeah, there was a big 8-0 run there at the end that put you guys back in front. And Coach, now I guess it's up to the NCAA selection committee. You don't get an automatic bid to this league because it's a first-year league, but your resume certainly seems like you're worthy, and you're ranked in like 39th or something like that. So it certainly seems like you guys are worthy of playing on.
But it's a Pool B, so we're in good shape. Basically, the winner of this conference was going to get in. So we won the regular season, we won the tournament. So 26-2, they can't get us out.
Yeah, I'm assuming you ladies agree.
Yes, sir.
Can't keep you out. All right, we'll see you guys. Hopefully,
I'll say this.
Okay, go ahead.
So Wednesday night we played bad.
Yeah.
And I got on them, and I even got on them on this video and in the paper. I told them if they win this, I'll praise them. And I'm proud of them.
A lot to be proud of. Congratulations, ladies. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
All right.
As Coach Milby mentioned there in the video, the CCS, being a first-year conference, does not get an automatic bid to the NCAA Division III tournament. Berea would have to get an at-large bid to that tournament. But sitting there at 26-2, I think all the folks at Berea College very confident that the Mountaineers will get a bid and will play in the NCAA Division III tournament this coming week. Maybe in Lexington, because Transylvania is the number 2 ranked team in the country, and they certainly would host a regional site. It would make sense for them to play in Lexington, but we'll have to see what the selection committee decides. But another great season for the Mountaineers as they continue on and try to extend their season. Well, on the men's side of the CCS tournament, the opening round was held on Tuesday at Berea College, with the Mountaineers taking on it was Piedmont. It's a new league. I can't remember these teams, to be honest with you. They were taking on Piedmont in the first round of the CCS tournament down at the Seabury Center in a thrilling game. It was Piedmont coming away with a 86-80 win in double overtime. Isaac Cottle, 20 points. Bryce Riley, 18 points. The Mountaineers finished the season at 15-11. First winning season for Berea since 2017. And earlier this week, Austin Newton was named the CCS Coach of the Year. Isaac Cottle and Trey Mender were both named first team all-conference selections as well. So disappointing ending to what was a great season for Berea College. Austin Newton has certainly got that program heading in the right direction. And there's a lot of excitement around that program, too. A lot of folks down not only in the southern part of the county, but here in Richmond, too, really taking notice. And I've noticed a big uptick in the crowds and everything, too. So, and Berea College has already gotten a couple of big commitments as well, if you watch them on Twitter. So big things to come down at Berea College. ASUN basketball. On the men's side, it was the last week of the regular season, and EKU had 2 road games down in the Sunshine State, and they came into the week in 3rd place in the ASUN, probably needing at least one game to guarantee, or at least one win to guarantee they would have a home game in the first round of the ASUN tournament. They didn't get it on Tuesday, or on Wednesday. They suffered a 77-64 loss at North Florida, but on Friday night finished out the regular season with a hard-fought 56-52 win over Jacksonville University in a game where they led by double digits late, and Jacksonville got back within 2 points before the Colonels gutted out the victory. And that victory ended up putting them as the number 3 seed in the ASUN tournament, and they will be at home Tuesday night to take on North Alabama. They came into that last game, they could have finished anywhere between 3rd and 6th in the standings, and everything worked out perfectly for Berea College. The teams that needed to win, or the teams that needed to lose lost, and they needed to win, and they got to win. So everything worked out perfectly. So Tuesday night against North Alabama at home, but of course you remember just a little bit over a week and a half ago, North Alabama came into Alumni Coliseum and beat EKU in overtime. So this is a 3-6 matchup, but it certainly won't be easy for the Colonels. But if they do get by North Alabama on Tuesday, they will go on to the semifinals and likely have to go to Liberty to play the number 2 seeded Flames. Moving on to the EKU women, they came into the week locked into the 5th seed in the ASUN, and had a couple of road games as well. A 95-62 win Thursday at Queens, and then a 90-77 loss to Liberty on Saturday. Of course, Liberty being one of the second-place team in the A-Sun. That leaves EKU at 17-13, 10-7, with one game left in the regular season. On Wednesday, they'll play at North Florida, and EKU a game and a half behind Austin Peay with one game to go. Really can't catch Austin Peay because of a strange situation where Central Arkansas basically disbanded their team last week, and so the final 3 games on their schedule became forfeits. So Austin Peay got a forfeit victory, and so EKU a game and a half behind with a game to go. Obviously can't make up that difference. So they were sitting in 5th place with one game left in the regular season, and so no, they probably will not host a first-round playoff game at Alumni Coliseum. So, all right, a couple other news and notes. Berea Community introduced their new football coach earlier this week, John Thomas, a guy who, if you follow high school, middle school football around the county, certainly a lot of people know. He'd been on the staff the last couple of years at Berea, also worked for Berea at the middle school level. He was on John Clark's staff over at Madison Southern, including the team that went to the 2017 state championship game, worked at Estill County for a year, Ferristown as well, but he'll take over. And if you go to richmondregister.com, we have a story up about him. He went to Berea for a little bit during middle school. He was a student there, but he said his mom, his dad, his sister, and his wife all graduated from Berea Community, and he's now a social studies teacher there. So Berea Community definitely runs in his blood. The KHSAA State Wrestling Championships were held Friday and Saturday over at George Rogers Clark in Winchester. 6 young men from Madison County advanced to the state, what they call the state final round. We had the semi-state last week and the state final round this week. But then 3 of those young men reached the podium. Madison Southern's Stephen Whitehead finished second at 285, the highest finish ever for a Madison Southern wrestler. He lost in the championship match 2-1 to Carter Gilliam of St. X. Chris Begley of Madison Southern finished 4th at 144 pounds, and Madison Central's Robert Nardelli was 6th at 132 pounds. Also competing for Madison Southern was Braden Kelly, and also competing for Madison Central was Carson Herbst and Lucas Hutchinson. All right, and coming up here in just a minute, we're going to have a Zoom interview with Stephen Whitehead. He's going to tell us all about his wrestling career and finishing as the runner-up this past weekend at the state championships. And what a great year he had. He finished 50-1. He was 50-0 going into the final match of the year. So, but he's just a junior, so he'll be back for another year. So stick with us. We'll have that in just a minute.
Stack of the week.
Head the valley! Head the valley!
Here with IHOP and partner Destination Athlete, presenting Robert Nardelli with his IHOP Stack of the Week. You get your t-shirt, second time, 52 weeks of pancakes, and your IHOP gift card. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm Coach Kinley. Robert has finished 3rd in the region, finished 3rd in semi-state, has worked very hard this season. Very excited to watch him compete this year in the state finals this weekend coming up, and also to continue his wrestling career at Campbellsville University. Congratulations. Thank you.
Stack of the week. Miller's Tire and Auto Care need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
All right, welcome back, where we are joined remotely by Stephen Whitehead, the runner-up in the
pound weight class on Saturday at the KHSA State Championships. And thanks for coming on board, Stephen. I know we tried to hook up with you earlier, had a little technical difficulty, but appreciate you helping us out again.
Thanks for inviting me.
All righty. Well, like I said, we were talking earlier, and I thought it was very interesting that you're now you're the first ever Madison Southern wrestler to reach the state championship. And we were talking, and I mentioned Justice Williams, the kid who had been the previous. He finished third twice, which was the best mark anybody had from your school had been before. And then you told me you actually had been practicing with him for the last week. I thought that was pretty cool. So tell us about working with Justice in the week leading up to the state tournament.
Yeah, so Justice is probably by far the hardest guy I've wrestled all year, including the state championship that I lost. He's probably just as strong as he was in high school. He might not be as in shape as he was, but he's just as strong as he was.
Yeah. Well, he finished third in 26 and 2017, and obviously hasn't lost too much of his touch, huh?
No, he was projected to win one year. One of those years he was projected to win. Obviously, Landon Young was one of the guys he had to go against, but who went to UK to play football and is now playing at the Saints, or he did play for the Saints.
Yeah, well, you came into the state tournament undefeated, got all the way to the final. I know it was a tough 2-1 loss, but it's a tremendous season for you. And you're being a junior, you're going to come back and try to run it back and try to do it again. But I mean, I know you're just yet to be disappointed, but kind of can you put things into perspective yet about what you accomplished and just how great the season was?
Yeah, I was going into the state finals match 50-0, but came to an end there at the end of my streak. I broke the Southern record for longest win streak, though, but my brother held it last year, so it's always competing.
Yeah, well, it's like we were joking about earlier that it was kind of ironic that you had a really horrible, actually two injuries when you played football over at GRC. You had a concussion and then also had a bad neck injury as well, and so you were back over there competing for a state championship right there near where you had had that horrible injury about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat what I said earlier, but yeah. I guess I think it was a lot. My neck injury was a lot better than what everybody thought. It wasn't as bad as what they were thinking, but obviously it's still a fractured neck and everything. But I forget all the time that I even fractured it.
Yeah. Coach said you wouldn't even come out of the game. You were joking earlier that you had a concussion, and for a minute there you weren't even sure where you were at.
Yeah, I took that handoff down there at the goal line, and I just dropped the ball and just stood there and watched it. I think I ended up recovering it. They put me on stat for fumble recovery, so I don't remember it happening. But I went back and watched the film on it, and I sure did drop the ball.
You missed the 4 games, and you would have been back even quicker. You telling everybody you're going to be back in 2 games.
Yeah, every week I went to the doctor. I asked if I could come back any sooner. He told me that with a fractured neck, you have to. That's the minimum you have to wait is 6 weeks. But I kept asking him anyway.
Yeah. And so you had said Carter Gilliam was the guy you faced in the final. He's an all-state offensive lineman, and you told me you'd never wrestled him before.
No, I never wrestled him, but I'd watched film on him and I knew how he was going to wrestle. I knew he was going to try to play position, try to get me to stall out, which he ended up doing. So, but he was in the state finals last year, and he'll probably be in the state finals next year. So, I'll get a rematch.
Yeah, you guys are both juniors. I know you're already itching for a rematch there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're a busy young man. You hold down a full-time job, not a full-time job, but a job, and you do a lot of other stuff around town. You're going to be a soccer coach now. You're out hitting golf balls on the farm this afternoon. Just going to tell us what Stephen does in his free time, if you have any free time.
Well, I was going to go fishing today, but there was so much daytime left, so we came up here to hit golf balls instead. But usually I don't do anything. I kind of try to find side jobs to do, get money, get some gas money to drive around.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You work at Walmart, right? You work at Walmart, and you do some. You've done all kinds of installation and all kinds of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. One of our coaches is opening up a little restaurant, and I did some demolition work a couple weeks ago, actually. Tore down some walls in there for him.
That's a good way to get some aggression out and get a good workout in, huh?
Oh, it was bad. The worst part was ripping up the carpet in the bathroom. It was terrible.
Ooh, imagine what that smelled like.
I peed.
All right. Well, when with football and wrestling over now, kind of where does your schedule go? I know you're going to do some regional and national wrestling stuff. So what's up for you guys? Up for you now?
I'm going on a visit tomorrow to Cumberland's, and then here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go to maybe Virginia, wrestle at a national tournament there, and then we have spring ball in a couple of weeks. So I guess I'm getting right back into football.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, you've gotten college interest from both in both football and wrestling. So, but you're kind of leaning toward wrestling, right?
Yeah, I used to like football way more than wrestling, but over the last couple of years, I've kind of just fallen in love with wrestling. I just like the process and where it's taken.
Yeah, well, so you told me before. Go ahead.
Oh no, I would just say maybe it's because I'm starting to win or something. That might be a little bit of it, but.
Yeah, we talked to you earlier. You said, yeah, you did it for a couple of years at the Wolfpack when you were a kid, and you weren't very good at it, and so but you came back to it, and winning certainly piques your interest and get you more motivated.
Yeah, no one has fun losing, so there's that.
What was there when you came back to the sport? Kind of what was that time frame there where you kind of realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I can do this.
My first year back, it was 8th grade, I think. I didn't do any. I did a little bit of high school. I think it was like 14 and 8 or something. I wasn't like negative, but it wasn't very good. And then I decided to do middle school. I placed 5th in middle school state, which doesn't mean much. And I was like, maybe I'm a little bit decent at it. And then I started wrestling my brother. And my brother, he kind of peaked a little bit his freshman year. So I went along with that. And then when you're around good people, like wrestling good people, like you just get that much better. So I started getting better.
Yeah,
it started going from there.
Yeah, and I think when Rocky did his signing a couple of I guess last year, I think he told the crowd that he was really horrible when he started out, and he didn't want to keep doing it either. So
he was really bad. Like I was really bad, but when he started in 7th grade, and he only wrestled high school. My dad said the other day, he's like, that's the only time I ever not wanted to go to wrestling meets. It was when he wrestled in 7th grade.
He ends up going off to college. He's over in a little college out in Kansas doing it. So it's worked out pretty good for him.
He placed 3rd in conference the other day. He was one match off of going to nationals.
Yeah.
As a freshman.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering how we ended up out there at what was it? Is it Bethel College? Is that what it is? Or what's the name of it?
Bethany
College. In Kansas. That's right. So I was kind of wondering how we ended up out there. So
it was like a recruiting thing, and he got on there, and I think his 2 biggest were like Kentucky Wesleyan and Bethany, and he went on visits to both of them, and I think he went out to Bethany, and he seen some girls out there or something, and that's where he wanted to go.
And you're going there for spring break, aren't you? Yeah, aren't you? You're going out there for spring break.
They're still going to be in school, so I guess one of the guys on his team has a house out there, so I'm just going to be staying with them. He said I'll be at home most of the time, but he sends me some videos of what they do out there, so I don't know if I want to go.
Warning to all the folks in Kansas, though, the Whitehead brothers are coming out there. So, and of course, I know, like I said, we had a little technical difficulty, and I know I've asked you some of these questions earlier, and so I'm sorry to repeat myself, but your Twitter handle is Crazy Steve, and it's kind of become your nickname. So, and I think you kind of got that just because you just kind of have a flamboyant personality and just like to just love life and just have fun.
Yeah. I got that name probably freshman year, kind of. Well, we started. Me and Rocky, we just kind of do stupid stuff. That's not really nothing really crazy. I mean, it's probably crazy, but that's why I call it that. But like we headbutt each other sometimes when we're playing or something. We'll headbutt lockers, the helmets or something. We in the summertime we go out there and we put as much clothes as possible. Kind of we see who can put more clothes on, but and everybody looks at us like we're crazy, but it's kind of a wrestling thing. Like you're wearing all the clothes, sweating all the weight off, so we're kind of used to it. But everybody thinks it's like absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the training between the wrestling and the football is so dramatically different. Obviously you do a lot more running with the wrestling training.
Yeah, football is more like you practice all day, you stretch in the beginning, you do 5, 10 gas in the day. Everybody's dying and everything. Then you get all that, you get in shape by the end of the season. You run those 5 gassers, it's nothing. And then you go to wrestling, and then Coach Kelly takes you outside, and he's like, "All right, guys, we're gonna start off with 12 laps." And you're like, "Oh my god!" And he starts timing you. And he starts getting mad when you start slowing down, so you got to keep it up. And then you're like, "Okay, we're done. I finished my 3 miles." And he's like, "All right, guys, get on the field. We're gonna run some gassers every 5 yards. Come back." And I'm like, and you feel like you've done. You feel like you've been sitting on the couch for the last 4 months.
Yeah, and totally different animal, obviously. That's for sure. You only have about 7 or 8 kids on the team down there, but you got a whole bunch of guys that help you out. Of course, the Bertram clan down there. So, kind of tell us about the coaching staff down there.
So we have 4 coaches, or we have 4 main coaches that are around a lot. There's Coach Brian Bertrand, and there's Rick Kelly. They're kind of the guy coaches. Tom and Logan help out with the guys, but they're more girls coaches. But Tom, Rick, and Brian are all from California, so that's a whole other animal of wrestling down where they're from. And they were all really good when they wrestled in high school, and they know their stuff. Like, they teach us. That's why we got some good wrestlers coming out of Southern.
Yeah, no, you like I saw you after the regional, and you joked about being small but mighty. But you get the 3 kids all the way to the state finals, and Chris Bagley's a kid that came from was at Central for a while. Came down there his senior year. He ends up finishing 4th, and let's talk a little bit about what he's meant to the program.
Chris played 6 2 years ago, actually, when he, I think that would be his sophomore year. Then he got hurt last year, his junior year, at semi-state, which there shouldn't be a semi-state, but that's a whole other topic. But he got hurt there. He didn't compete that year, and then he came back and placed 4th, and I don't think anyone had him placing that high, but, I mean, he upset a lot of people, and Chris is a really good wrestler. He's going to Midway, actually, next year to continue wrestling at the next level.
All right. And you got Braden Kelly as well. He got to the state final as well. We'll talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, Braden's still young, but him and Chris going back and forth. That's why he's getting really good, because they're just trading back and forth. And he's also a football player, so he'll contribute at the varsity level this year on the football field. Probably at corner, some linebacker, maybe in the backfield, might rotate in a little bit in the backfield. But Braden works really hard. Like, Braden might be one of the hardest workers might be the hardest worker on the team. And Braden, I mean, him and Chris, that's why he's getting good. But next year, it'll be him, Grant, and Elijah going back and forth, and they'll be getting up there too. You'll hear their names next year too, Elijah and Grant.
Of course, those guys are a lot smaller lower weight classes than you are, and you don't really have. That's why you pulled in Justice. You don't really have anybody to practice with, especially now the Rockies off in Kansas, right?
Yeah, so I've not had anyone to wrestle probably for the past 2 months, and I've been jumping rope at practice, talking to the coaches while I'm jumping rope. But we went somewhere, and I wrestled terrible, and I realized I had to do something, so. We started calling around. I went up to GRC for about a week, practiced with them for about a week. I actually learned a lot of moves that I might have used. I think I used a couple of them in the state finals. I went up there for GRC, wrestled with them for a little bit, and then we called Justice down, and I run with the big guns down there. And that's probably what helped me.
Yeah. Well, you do have a very successful women's program down there as well, with a couple of state champions. I mean, I'm sure you maybe not work together so much, but what's the relationship there between those 2 programs? And I know they only have a couple of girls too, but you guys kind of help each other out there.
Yeah, we all practice together. Like, I don't wrestle. I wrestled Haley a little bit because she's a 205, or the girl weights are different. I'm not sure about it, but I wrestled her for a little bit. But Sierra wrestles with Chris, Braden, Elijah, all those guys, and she holds her own against all those guys.
I was gonna say, I bet she beats them once in a while too.
Maybe.
Maybe. Close, right? Close enough.
Yeah, close.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, man. And like I said, I know, I saw Saturday. I could see that you went up there to get that second place medal, and I could see the look on your face was just complete disappointment. But I hope you've had a little bit of time now to reflect, and obviously what you've accomplished is amazing, and you got another year to go. So hopefully you got a lot to be proud of, man.
Yeah, I'm coming for it next year. I'm working hard. I'm going to work hard this off season. That one hurt.
We're gonna take that clip right there. We're gonna save it. We're gonna save that, and next year when you win that thing, we're gonna play that back for you.
About 6 months ago, WBON, I said I was going to win a state title. they might have that archive, but that didn't age well.
Yeah, that's one. It's probably on YouTube, so you're probably stuck with that. So but hey, it's all right. It's all good. Hey, you came 1 point away from winning a week. That's good enough. So all right. Well, I appreciate your time, brother, and we'll be looking forward to big things from you on the football and the field and the wrestling mat. So
thank y'all for having me.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, it certainly was a busy week in Madison County, and lots of more good stuff coming up this week with the 11th Region Tournament, ASUN basketball here in Richmond as well. So stick with us. This is the best place to keep up with Madison County sports, no doubt. But on social media, we are Richmond R Sports on Twitter and Register Sports on Facebook. And, of course, richmondregister.com. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.